Hey everyone, Kryptonian here, and I'm here to talk about One Punch Man Chapter 128. And I know I'm behind, but I'm trying to catch up, so here's gonna start the review. There are spoilers ahead, you've been warned. So we start out this chapter where we left off last time with Orochi trying to absorb any and every monster he can within the Monster Association, and continuing to try and fire his laser beams at Tatsumaki with his tentacle dragon things or whatever. But Tatsumaki is easily destroying them everywhere in the Monster Association where she is right now. But it's proving rather difficult since Orochi's trying to absorb Tatsumaki and she can't focus her energy on fending off Orochi's attacks and trying to capture Psykos at the same time. So she pretty much has to deal with Orochi first, then Psykos. And we cut into like somewhat of an inner monologue for Tatsumaki where Tatsumaki basically wants to turn the Monster Association upside down, but she can't because Tario is still somewhere in there and she doesn't know where he is and she doesn't want to kill him in the meantime. And we do somewhat cut to an interesting kind of flashback of Tatsumaki, what seems to be behind a cage with scientists or something running away from a monster. So this is hinting at Tatsumaki's origin. You know, she was kind of a helpless child that was in the middle of something involving monsters. And we will get to see more of this backstory later on. The scene is actually from the webcomic, or at least part of it, and we will get to see more of it in the manga further on after the Monster Association arc ends. But then we cut to Psykos trying to take control of Orochi, and we get to see that it's not as easy as she thinks. Psykos is trying to control Orochi so she can take down Tatsumaki, but Orochi's trying to take over Tatsumaki's power so he can use it against Saitama, which brings us to Psykos eventually able to control Orochi and use him as a vessel to try and amplify her powers, which leads to a fusion and creation of a brand new monster that pretty much resembles something out of a Final Fantasy boss. Tatsumaki is initially successful with Orochi's attacks, easily twisting the beams and destroying it, somewhat going into a clash that pretty much is breaking everything around them. Now we get to see Psykos basically using her gravity manipulation powers on Tatsumaki, but she instantly throws a barrier protecting herself. But Psykos, now with Orochi's new power, has swapped the inside of her barrier and pretty much forced her gravity manipulation inside the barrier, and Tatsumaki basically she pulled an Uno reverse card. Now we pretty much see Tatsumaki is actually struggling somewhat against Psykos and her new powers. So maybe Orochi, Monster Queen Psykos. I kind of like that one. Now we cut to Flash Saitama and Mike trying to escape from Orochi's goop, or Orochi's goop, before they get absorbed. We see they're pretty much able to evade them, but once the slime or Orochi's remains touch Saitama trying to grab his head and it slips, Saitama instantly punches it, and its shockwaves were massive. It can be felt through the Monster Association. Saitama hit the goop so hard that Psykos actually felt it. When she felt the pain, she pretty much let go of Tatsumaki, somewhat reels back from the pain, somewhat loses focus and lets go of Tatsumaki, causing her to reel back in pain and lose her grip on Tatsumaki. And as Tatsumaki is somewhat falling down, she's beginning to receive a message on her comm from King saying that Tario is under his protection and they're moving towards the surface. Tatsumaki lets out a smile and she said she was expecting this from King, and that's when Tatsumaki says she's not going to hold back anymore. So it looks like in the next chapter we are going to see Tatsumaki cut loose, meaning she pretty much was holding back the entire fight just so Tario wouldn't die and be killed in the process. So next chapter we are going to see Tatsumaki going all out up against Orochi or a Monster Queen Psykos. I don't know, whichever name you want to call it. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting. Also, I'm really liking the new design for Orochi or Monster Queen Psykos. It really does look like something out of this world and something maybe from a Final Fantasy boss fight or something. And it could be possible that this monster queen Psykos is maybe somewhere on par with Orochi, maybe possibly higher. I'm not gonna say for now, since she was pretty much able to have a suppressed Tatsumaki on the roast for a while and get the upper hand. But then again, she was holding back against Tario, so it's unclear where she fits right now compared to Tatsumaki, but I'm pretty sure she is definitely stronger than Psykos was before she fused with Orochi. So it's gonna be interesting to see Orochi up against Tatsumaki who isn't holding back. So yeah, I think in the next chapter we're definitely gonna see Tatsumaki doing something to the Monster Association that, for webcomic readers, you know what I mean. Alright guys, that's going to be it for me today. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell so you can get notified on my videos. And I will see you all later. Have an awesome day.